Hey, So Weird Podcast, it's Neil.
Hi everyone, my name's Melissa.
I'm Sasha Mullen.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
Hello there! It is spooky season.
I saw a prompt, I saw Halloween, I said yes. How could you not?
I've been a So Weird fan for many, many years, and it's great to see a whole community of other fans, and I'm excited for this Halloween special.
Super into Halloween, love me some Samhain, it's all good.
Well, let's get to it. Question 1. What is the scariest episode So Weird?
I would say that the scariest episode for me was probably Strange Geometry.
For me, definitely Strange Geometry.
Strange Geometry, in my opinion.
The reason for it is probably because of the whole premise behind that particular episode. You had that feeling, just for me, right from the beginning, that something was completely off about that building. I remember watching that episode and just getting creeped out by the interior of the building alone.
I remember being so creeped out by the whole concept of the portal in that old building where Molly was shooting a music video. I just found the whole concept, the whole episode just really haunting and intriguing, but definitely creepy.
I think that season 1, episode 12, Lost, is the scariest. Why? Because she's lost in her own mind, which is honestly like the scariest thing. I feel like being trapped in your own head. Like, that was when I first watched it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, how is she gonna get out? Like, what's happening, you know? And then of course, you know, Fee's investigating because, you know, she won't stop. You know, when she finds something weird, she's like, I'm gonna figure it out. That's what we love about this show.
Scariest episode for me, season 2, episode 28, Destiny, where we see Brecrew, the Will-o'-the-Wisp, come back and take over Molly. So that one was pretty scary for me, seeing Molly's mannerisms, of course, with Brecrew taking over her body.
For me, it is the episode Troll from season 2. Now, I know you might be thinking, really? That one? Yes, really. That episode terrified me as a kid. While I watched it recently, yeah, admittedly, it's not as scary as it once was when I was a small child. It's still unsettling, without a doubt.
In terms of the scariest episode, I could have gone a more blatantly supernatural route, or gone a kind of snarky route and thrown season 3 under the bus. like, oh, that's pretty scary. But I decided to actually go with a more sincere angle about well-being, and there's a lot of that in the show about just trying to feel safe and trying to feel validated and trying to feel taken care of, and how darker problems get manifested through something else, whether it's Molly's own eluded self-destruction, or it's in something like Tulpa where you have this psychic manifestation of your own abuse, or in Transplant where your spirit is being modded onto something else against your will. And I surprised myself when I actually decided to pick Roswell. You know, I mean, this poor man is othered, and he never got a chance to grow up. His whole childhood was stunted and paralyzed because he stopped being able to move forward because he wasn't allowed to. And other people are blaming him for being crazy, and in reality, all he wants is to feel loved and safe with his sister, and to understand what the heck is going on with that metal quadrilateral talking at him. But yeah, I think that that's the scariest because it's the most blatantly human moment. And there are a lot of those, but I think that one really speaks to me in a sense of wanting people to feel taken care of. And, you know, I think that that's something that lives with me. A lot of images from that episode.
So next we have the top 2 creepy scenes. Now for me, I feel like the ghost from season 1.
The scene in Family Reunion where Fee sees the ghost of the little boy who drowned in the Eastland disaster for the first time. That shot down the hallway, that was really creepy.
Like when Fee spills her drink, and like the ghost appears, like I was like, what?
The Banshee episode where the Banshee is hovering over the grandpa and when the Banshee takes Fiona into the woods by herself.
I'm gonna say when Fee walked through the forest and came across the Banshee.
Especially in that scene where Fee and Banshee are yelling at each other, where really Fee's yelling at Banshee to find out why her father passed away, to see it was the Banshee's fault, and how Banshee was speaking was very creepy.
It was not we who took him.
There's a lot of strange geometry that is pretty unnerving. Like, you're like, oh dang it, what is this? What is this weird building? Definitely stumbling on something that shouldn't be there. That's kind of terrifying.
As that episode progressed, it kind of gets into what I think is probably one of the scariest scenes, and it's with the faces protruding from the wall.
And the whole episode of Dead Ringer from season 3 was creepy, but particularly the scene where they go into the house, to Mr. Applebaum's house, and the suspense was building. I remember feeling really creeped out from that. So that's one of the 2 creepiest scenes, I think.
I do often get unnerved when I think back to the climax scene of Twin with the building.
Where we see Fiona get trapped on the balcony by herself, and she sees the evil spirits emerge from the wall.
Where we see that 3-headed owl emerge from the wall, fly towards Fee, and nearly knocks her off the rooftop to her death. Oh geez, that is just a terrifying sight. In the visual and the action, and the fact that we still don't know what that was just makes it all the more unnerving for me as a viewer.
Not comforting. It's not comforting to think about.
When Fee's dad saved her from falling in the season 2 finale, the reason I find that creepy is because he did come back as a spirit to save her, and especially in the original ending that was written that he was supposed to go to hell, that would have been such a scary thing to see.
If only we got answers.
Also, the troll, honestly, is really creepy, turning, people into vegetables, like, what?
It's really any moment where we see the characters as vegetables. It's just so creepy, seeing their faces carved into these vegetables, and they look so helpless, and you're like, what is going on here? But yeah, that's just a visual you cannot get out of your mind once you've seen it.
And then Andy's encounter with the mummy and Meow.
Okay. It's not what it looks like. I was just trying to help you two, okay? I'm just trying to help you guys stay together. I really am.
For another scary, creepy scene, I would also include the werewolf episode, especially when Carrie gets locked into the bus. That feeling that you get, him being alone, being vulnerable, just evokes an emotion that can't be by anything else. For the scariest villain, creepiest villain, I would say it's Brickaroo.
Definitely Brickaroo.
So for me, the scariest villain is Will-O-the-Wisp.
For me, for sure, the Will-O-the-Wisp crew.
Because even though that he's like tiny, it's like this little light thing. He possesses Molly and Jack. It's like, I don't want to be possessed, you know what I mean?
This is a villain that has a capability to possess anyone that he pleases. Season 1, he possesses Jack. In Season 2, Molly. It's that very reason that makes him the scariest, the creepiest one, because he's got that power to do something like that.
So I feel like that's scary, that's what I don't like.
And it was even extra scary for me because we see him in that first one of the Will-O-the-Wisp, and it's actually based out of the Marfa Lights, and I'm actually from Texas and been to Marfa plenty of times and actually have lots of family there, so that made it a little bit more scary for me, but the dude was pretty scary.
But I guess that we did end up getting like Berku's version of Into the Darkness, so that's pretty cool.
So for me, the scariest, so weird episode and the creepiest villain, both are going to go to the Banshee.
Scariest villain, once again, Banshee.
I feel the Banshee was a really well-written character, well-written villain.
As that wail is the creepiest sound throughout the series. I watched that episode again during summer, and it scares me as much today as it did as a kid.
I would have to go with the merman from the episode Fathom. I don't remember his name, but that's beside the point.
I guess the creepiest villain is Lol. I don't know if that needs explanation. That's just how it is. I don't make the rules.
The point is, he's creepy. Not because he's a merman, but because he wanted to take away Molly from her own children to keep for himself.
But I can't just leave my children.
Molly, I need you now. I won't let them come between us.
No! You can't ask me that, Lau. I don't even want you to ask me that.
Molly, you and I, we don't have to be alone anymore.
If you were to air an episode like that on the Disney Channel today, it would get so much backlash. It just does not fly in the era of the Me Too movement. It just, no.
And for other media that I'd recommend So Weird fans to watch,
I'd recommend So Weird fans to watch Evermore. This is a British show from Disney Channel UK. It's similar to So Weird, but in a lot of ways it's not. It's more fantasy than sci-fi, and it's about Tara, who returned to the UK, and she finds all this weird stuff happening like Fee does. So I'd recommend it. Also, just know that Evermore is the pilot, while the Evermore Chronicles is the actual show. Season 1 is my favorite season from the show. And season 2 is a bit like strange because Tara's not in the show, kind of like how Fee left So Weird. But this, for me, it's not as jarring because she like fulfills what she needs to do. So, but anyway, yeah, watch it during spooky season.
I'm actually going to change this up a little bit. I would actually recommend reading Bentley Little. He's a really good horror writer. I absolutely like his stuff. But in terms of like watching something, The Exorcist, Poltergeist, anything really paranormal. Another one that comes to mind is The Evil Dead. Watch that. Paranormal Activity. That's just, I'm a huge horror fan, so I have So Weird to thank for that. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Plus a book recommendation. So
a media that I would recommend to So Weird fans would be the Belay Brothers Dragula. It's a queer show about the Belay brothers trying to find the next drag super monster. That show is really awesome to watch. It really goes over the gothy punk horror type of drag. And seasons one's on YouTube, 2 and 3 on Netflix, and the Resurrection / All-Star season is going to be on Shudder this month on the 20th. It's not really a season, it's more like a 2-hour movie, and I really think So Weird fans would love the Belay Brothers Dragula.
And for other media, there was a movie I recently watched on Hulu called Body at Brighton Rock. It's about a park ranger who comes across a crime scene and she has to stay there overnight, and she finds herself hallucinating. There's no CGI in this movie, no gore. It's really true form of classic horror. So if you like So Weird, I think you'll really enjoy this movie.
I really love a show. It came out around the same time as So Weird. It's called Mysterious Ways. It reminds me of So Weird a lot, and it's really, really great. It's about an anthropology professor who investigates mysterious phenomena, so definitely up our alley. Also, Alfred Hitchcock Presents and The Twilight Zone, the original series, are also really great.
And other media that I recommend, of course, all the original DCOMs, the Halloween ones, of course, now that we're in October. So Twitches, Mom's Got a Day with a Vampire, Don't Look Under the Bed, classic one. and all the Halloween towns. The other one that was one of my favorites, and it kind of goes in with that whole So Weird X-Files era, would be the Tower of Terror. So based out of the hotel that we see in Walt Disney World at Hollywood Studios. Unfortunately, it's not on Disney Plus. I'm sure you could find it somewhere else. I believe it came out in 1998. Since it's not like a true DCOM, that's why it's not on Disney Plus. Trust me, I've looked for it and as to why it's not on there, because it was produced by Wonderful World of Disney. But that one is definitely a must-watch if you like the So Weird paranormal era.
I want to shine spotlight on a short film called Mo'o. Mo'o is about two cousins, Kikoa and Mika. Kikoa, a rebellious teenager, has just lost his mother and is not really taking the proper time to grieve. His younger cousin Mika, is dragging him out of the house into the night on Oahu to look for spirits and signs of the afterlife. Thematically, topically, it is so reminiscent of So Weird when I saw it at the Hawaii International Film Festival last year. And I know that if other So Weird fans watch it too, I'm pretty sure they would draw to the same conclusion. Mo'o can be viewed this month as part of the virtual film festivals, the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival, and CamFest Forward. Again, it's called Mo'o from the director Anna Lane.
And as for another piece of media, I don't think you can go wrong with Hocus Pocus. It's always my go-to. Although I don't think anyone here really needs anybody to be told to watch that. But I'm going to tell you, you should watch Hocus Pocus.
And that just about does it. Thank you.
And that's all for now. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks.
Anyway, I hope that everyone stays safe and, circumstances given, are able to have a good Halloween. Yeah, take care.
So that's it. Keep the faith.